And one was we go over fetch, and the fetch content returns a response as text. This is very useful when fetching and scraping HTML from the response. So definitely in the previous example where we fetched particular content, and we had a response back. The other method that that's a very common method is the IG fetch HTML content. It returns a response as an XML object. This is very useful when fetching XML feeds with no standard formats. So a lot of, as I told you, it's more of a callback feature, but you want to have the ability to get that data extracted, what you basically need. And then the third item is the IG fetch feeds. And it's a callback feature with entries and summaries. This is basically useful when you need to generate data from the feed. And per feed, the URL, title, description, link, and the author as well. Per entry feed, summary, and the date. So these are all the methods you need to bring in and fetching these content inside a gadget. So here's the example where we fetch and display an XML list. So we have a list of items that we want to render and put into our definite list. If you can see this bold type where we have IG fetch content from googlepages.com list, XML render list, we have a function actually to grab all those list items and basically display them, getting the elements by their tag name and generating them and displaying them as well. So it's a simple way to fetch a list and basically display it using the fetch XML content. So it's important that I think that not only just for the Philippines, as you see that some of the Korean and some of the other languages, the 42 countries and different languages as well, you want to make sure that your Google gadget is easily readable by other Google users that are possibly not even of your country. I'm sure, I know, for example, like, if you had, I know that in the Philippines there's some popularity with Japanese animation where you can bring in your content from them and basically customize it for the Philippines or vice versa. So, yeah, why translate your gadget? Many more users all over the world, many different countries and different languages. Here's one of this is just this very simple to-do list in Russian, and in basically easily translating this into multiple languages. So you have to look at the bigger picture here is that what you develop, you want to have the ability to have that in different languages. And here's the example for translating your Google gadget. Again, it's just a little bit more XML wrapped around to support multiple language in a single gadget. You want to specify the supported language in your gadget XML right here, and automatically loads the right messages. So it's important that we wanted to support the different XML. Oops, how did that happen? Maybe that was me. There you go. And we wanted to have that, generate that XML when we have that specific content for their user preference. So you can imagine you developing something for the Philippines and possibly someone translating that into another language and building that specifically for them in a particular language. ideally, the more useful your gadget is and more languages it supports, the more it's supported and more people use it. So, as I stated, how do I get, once I built a Google gadget now, how do I get it into the directory to be searched by other Google users? So you can basically list your gadget and have it available to search. Now, I've alluded to making sure that either the content feed that you get from maybe content owners, that it is available, that you have a good relationship with these content owners, because if you don't, you won't be listed on the directory. So it's important that you really, if you wanted to have other people to take a look at your Google gadgets and use it, and you want Google to sort of advertise your Google gadgets in the directory, you want to make sure that it's supported by some of the feeds from those content owners. However, there are developers for Google gadgets that don't have permission for some of the feeds, and that comes into an issue where Google will not have it listed in their directory. So it's important that you can develop your application or your Google gadget and maybe show it to the content provider and say, hey, I have this Google gadget that I'm going to submit it. How are you going to support me? How to deal with them? So that's kind of the first step. You can develop it, and if they're okay with this, then you can actually get more users using your particular gadget, and even get some support from the content owners as well. I know that this is specifically for a developer focused, but ideally we wanted to have the 1-2 punch of a Google gadget, and the one-two punch, the number one portion, is getting developers to develop this, and then marrying that up with the content owners. So it's simply adding a little more information to your Google gadget to get these listed on the Google directory. Now, everybody wants to know, once I've developed the gadget, how do I get it into the directory? There's a submission page, and you can submit your Google gadget after, you can submit it via this form. And you can go to this URL, www.google.com/ig/submit. And we can take it from there. But you can always basically do some of the work beforehand by working with the multiple feeds and content owners as well, so that, again, you'll have support. The more support, the better your gadget will probably be used by other people and supported by Google as well. So there's some Google gadgets for your web page here, and you can see here Google gadgets aren't just for normal personalized pages. They can be embedded within your regular company pages that they have, and you can see here here we have a personalized gadget for Puerto Vallarta. So this travel site, I believe it's a travel site, has taken in a Google gadget from somebody else's webcam and bringing it into their own web page. So it's this is where the power is here, is that you can embed this content within your own web page or blog or some other venue as well. So most of the Google gadgets can be put on pretty much any website. And that's where I think you see the value of these different feeds. So here's another one, the other example, tropical storms. I guess this is for the travel site as well, where you want to track obviously, if you're traveling to, say, Batangas, like we're here